As the video starts, a site inspection of Oxford Art Factory is underway. We move through backstage. Text: the Music New South Wales Music Accessibility Project was developed to support venues to become more inclusive. Text: the project reviewed the online and on-site accessibility of a range of small to medium, independently run venues across the city of Sydney. A location change follows on. 2 women at a table, a green and white painted wall behind them. This is Judy Harwood, Access Consultant on our left, Morwenna Collette, Program Manager at right. Both women wear business casual attire. In order of appearance are the guests from a brown booth at Oxford Art Factory. Liz Martin, musician and CEO, Accessible Arts. Mark Gerber, CEO and founder, Oxford Art Factory. White text on a black background, Music New South Wales. Bold white text. Text fills the screen. Music Accessibility Project. A hand with a ring on their right finger turns a key in a lock. A man in a surgical mask indicates speakers for amplification in a theatre. Next to him, a woman faces away from us. She has blonde hair and a black top.
So why think about access and inclusion?
Morwenna.
Well, us as a live music industry, we want to be something that is for everyone in our community. We want to broaden our audience and be able to sell tickets to as many people as possible. And in fact, 18% or 1 in 5 of us in Australia currently live with disability.
Judy.
They don't just come alone to a venue, they bring their family and friends with them.
We have something called the Disability Discrimination Act, so being on the front foot around planning for accessibility will help you avoid things like complaints under that legislation. And lastly, we want to think about access because it's just the right thing to do.
Liz.
When we're talking about access for venues, we often think immediately about audiences, but it's really important that venues are considering access for artists. Musicians and artists generally with disability earn 42% less than artists without disability. Have less opportunities to perform, to network. That just is barrier after barrier for artists with disability to be able to engage with their craft and in mainstream spaces.
Morwenna.
And look, we totally acknowledge that there's a lot going on right now and accessibility might not be front of mind for everyone with all of the other things that venues are currently trying to manage. But we want to let you know it doesn't have to be hard or expensive.
Judy.
It could be as easy as just clearing out all the clutter, using colour and light so that people find it much easier to find their way. And with your signage, make sure it's clear and easy to understand. There's some really easy, non-expensive things that you can do now, and then you can plan for the things that might cost you a bit more for later.
Liz.
Make sure you have a question in there about access requirements and kind of express to people that you're open to artists with disability. You don't have a really narrow definition of what it is to be a musician in Australia, you know.
And it might even just be things like having your bar menu in a large enough font that everyone can read it.
Or having an app that works with your bar menu so that people have options about how they order.
Mark.
It's absolutely essential that venues provide information to that audience that may require special assistance. You've got the ability to do that through your website, and you've also got the ability to do it through the ticketing platforms that you utilise.
Liz.
You don't have to be, I mean, it would be wonderful to be 100% accessible for everyone, but if you're starting out, just be honest with what you have. Think about what you have and talk about what the issues are so that people can then navigate the space for themselves. We're all grown-ups, we can work it out, just give us the information.
Morwenna.
So the goal of this project is really to get venues thinking about what are the quick wins that they can do today to make things better right now. So things like updating your website content or starting to use image descriptions on your social media, and also putting in place some plans for some of those longer term things around capital works, for example, that you might need. And knowing that there are actually grants out there that can support you to fund some of those costs.
Mark.
There's definitely been some aha moments that I've had today where I thought, okay, well that could be interesting.
It would be wonderful if venue operators and festival organisers met us halfway and started engaging with those conversations first up. That would be terrific and awesome and so appreciated and noticed by everyone, honestly.
White text on a black background. Music, Facing Monsters by Tralala Blip. Thanks to Oxford Arts Factory, City of Sydney, Accessible Arts, New South Wales Government, APRA AMCOS. musicnewsouthwales.com. This is the end of the audio description.